Welcome back to my channel, Custom Scrapbook Design by Christy Stubbs. And welcome back to another installment of my Scrappin' Saturday series. We're on week 14. And also welcome back to Saturday Morning Makes. That is an open collaboration hosted by Jillian Norwood. And you can search the hashtag #SatMornMakes to find all of the other fabulous designers and creators sharing what they are working on this beautiful Saturday. So last week I did say that I was done using the Life in Bloom collection. However, I have quite a few scraps left, and so I thought maybe I would just try and pull together a quick layout, one page with some of those scraps and use up a little bit more of it. I will have another project coming your way with some of these scraps as well. So let's get started. I have my basket of ephemera and all my goodies here, and I pulled all of my bigger pieces of scraps. So you can see I have quite a few bigger pieces, and then I also have a pretty large supply of smaller pieces as well. I'm not even going to pull those all into camera for you, but there are a lot, trust me. So I kind of have just honestly a really simple layout in mind. I've got a 12 by 12 black page as my starting point, and then I had this scrap. It was already cut this width, and I'm going to use that. And then I had this purple, and you know, I've got quite a bit of a wider width of that. However, I actually just want a little sliver of that purple. So I am going to trim that down. So actually probably gonna just trim it . Looks like I might need to straighten that last cut out. Maybe I better do that first to make sure my sliver ends up being the same size from top to bottom. All right, get that lined up. Whoops. And of course, pop it loose. Looks like it might have been just a sliver off. So we'll straighten that out. And then we'll go back and cut ourselves roughly about a 1/2 inch sliver. It might give or take. So I'm going to line that piece up next to that one. And then let's take a look at what we've got left here as far as our papers. And I had quite a few of these pieces left, so I think we'll use some of this. So we're going to just cut off that branding strip quick. And then let's give ourselves about a 4.5 inch wide piece and see how that looks. We're just going to line that up next and see the height. I believe I had taken 1 inch off of that for one of the previous layouts. So we've got that piece that's just a little bit shorter lined up there. And now you can do this with any of your scraps that you've got laying around from any of your collections. And I am literally just kind of layering the scraps to get us a little bit of a layout here. And I do want to pick a saying and see. I want to just kind of see what I've got left to choose from. I have a few 3x4s. I have a couple 4x4s. And I do have this 4x6 piece as well, which may make me kind of change direction altogether. Let's see. Another 3x4 piece. Oh, and I do have a little chunk of this left as well. So if we want to go, oh my goodness. Decisions. Now last week I had matted this banner. I actually wouldn't mind trying to pull this into the layout today. And then I had fussy cut this as well. So maybe we want to lean a little more towards possibly even going with the pink and the tickets instead. And we could pull just a little bit of the tickets. Those are the same height. Just trying to decide how the tickets would look. I don't like it as well with the typewriter keys. I kind of like the pink with it just a little bit better. Or could even layer down all the way to that. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so this one, I am going to just cut it in half. I'm kind of following the natural line of the tickets there. Just set that there, and then let's go this direction with the polka dots, and we're just gonna pull a 4-inch section of that because I think we'll layer that one. And then that one's even smaller. And we're gonna pull, I'm gonna cut it at 5. All right, so you've got the general idea of how that's going to carry across there. We're gonna use this Life is Beautiful. It's got the tickets on it. And we're going to mat that onto a background of some sort so that it will pop off of the page just a little bit better. And I actually think we're going to shorten the height of all of these a little bit as well. I think I want them to be just a touch smaller. So creating more scraps. Lots of scraps from the last few weeks of projects. Which, like I said, I've kind of got an idea for a project with the scraps. So I hope to be bringing you that either this weekend or the first part of next week. So we're gonna just layer that up And maybe we want to come down just a touch with that rather than run it in the center. And I'm not so sure I want that to be quite that wide. I'm going to cut the branding strip off of this piece here and see if maybe that's what I'm wanting to do, is just to narrow that up. And I think that is what needed to happen, is that just needed to be a little bit more narrow. And then we can run our flag across there. We're going to mat that onto something else. Probably pull this in. And I have, oh boy, let's see what I've got for some photo mats. Might trim this down just a little bit. Seems a little bit big, so we don't necessarily have to keep it at the 4x4. I think I'm going to bring it down to about 3.5 by 3.5. And I did just trim a little off of each side. Doesn't look like I did, but because that is off center just a little bit, but that is okay. So I think it's going to come together somewhat like that. So I'm going to do some inking, and then we will put everything in place and see how we like it. I might actually change out this photo mat as well, and maybe we will just do 4 3x4 photos. Oh, that one's too small. I'll cut another one and see how that maybe looks. We might just go with 3 or 4 of those instead. So let's do some inking, and then we'll start putting this together and see what we think of it. Okay, I feel like this needs to be backed on something, and I'm not exactly sure just what I want to back that on. But so let's go ahead and adhere all of this down, and then maybe I'll get a better feel for how we want to back that sentiment. Or maybe we don't even want to use it at all. Who knows? So we're going to just go in slightly from the edge, so we do have a little bit of that black border. And then we are going to put this strip fairly close to it. I think we'll do another small black border in between the two. Might have got a little too low. This one might not be the exact same length. And that's okay. Nope, we got a little tiny bit of black at the top and a little bit of black at the bottom, and I'm crooked. So let's try that again. Goodness gracious. Good thing for repositionable tape for my use anyway, because boy, I struggle sometimes getting things straight on the first try. All right, and you may have noticed I did round the corners just on one side. I thought it might be kind of a fun little look. And we're going to drop that down rather than center it. We're going to kind of offset it. I thought it might be kind of fun just to have that rounded corner on one side. And then rather than having that space there, we are going to, actually, I'm going to layer it underneath. Once again, I'm going to lift that up. Try and catch that before it's stuck. Okay. And because I'm having a hard time telling if I've got this straight, I'm going to pull out the ruler, and it is slightly off. Follow those dots if everything's cut straight. There we go. Whoops, and I probably shouldn't have pressed that down too hard because I think I'm going to tuck this one under as well. So we're just going to slide that under. I'm just trying to center it top to bottom as best I can. Probably should have shortened it just a touch more. I'm going to. I think I want that shorter. Stick into the paper punch. There we go. So I really didn't need to ink all the way around if I would have thought that through just a little bit. There, I like the looks of that a little bit better with it being just a tad shorter. Okay, so we've got the little bit of black on the end there. And again, I feel like I'm kind of crooked. And I am. I keep tucking the bottom in just a tad too far. All right, before we press down on this, that's where it needs to be. Okay. So there we've got our scraps lined up, and this is what's throwing me off. This one here is crooked. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know if my eyeballs are playing tricks on me today or no. That is straight. Okay. Quit messing with it. We're going to have other stuff on here anyway. So, I was kind of hoping to fit this in here somewhere. Again, I'm just trying to use up some of my ephemera pieces and a lot of the scrap paper rather than pulling a bunch of new stuff into the mix. And I did go ahead and change to, I don't know if I want to do 4 of them. I might only do 3 of them. I tend to like to do a lot of pictures and end up with my pages really full. So that might be where I've got a lot of space open on here. That might be where a little bit of my struggle is coming into play. I think we're going to run them like this. And then I also think we may take, I want to see what they would look like lined up on a color. And I'm I'm leaning, I guess I don't necessarily want that blue on blue, but I don't know that I love the green with it either. I don't mind the purple, and I think the purple on purple right here really isn't that big of a deal. The writing on here is going a different direction. However, we're only going to be matting it, so you're not really going to notice that because we're going to end up cutting that even a little closer there. So I think we're going to use the purple. So I'm going to go ahead and matte. Put all the photo mats on here, and I'm going to leave a pretty small border going around it. And then I'm also going to space them fairly close together. And yes, I cut that photo mat from earlier. You can certainly do that. Nobody's ever going to be the wiser and see the back of it, except all of you who just watched me do it. And then we're going to go ahead and trim that. Might be just a touch big. And then we're going to trim the top part off to try and get it to match. It's a tad big as well, so we're going to trim just a little sliver off of that. And that looks better. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the corner rounder again. So this is a fun, easy way to mat 3 pictures all at once and not have to individually mat those. And we're going to pull that all the way off the edge here. And we're going to drop that down. No, we're going to keep it centered. Looks like I didn't quite get in my corner rounder perfectly straight. There we go. I'm going to pull the ticket top 10. Oh, and let's see, we did have a, where did my photo mat, my sentiment go? I did have a sentiment that I had cut down. I wonder if we're going to even use that. I don't know. We could pull a doily in. And maybe we'll pull them down. I'm just going to kind of play with moving them around. Go up higher. Throw the doily. Let's kind of play around with this a little bit and see. I think we're going to trim this down even further. I'm going to end up trimming it down and end up not using it at all. And then not like it because I've got it too small, but we'll see. Before I ink it again, I'm going to maybe we need to mat this on a solid as well. Let's see what I got for scraps here. could make this one work. Since we are trying to just kind of use up some scraps, let's go ahead and round the corners of this piece and see how much more we want to trim off of this sentiment. I'm going to trim a little bit more off this end. And I'm going to opt to trim just a touch more off this direction as well. And see how that there. Now we've got, let's just see how that looks and see if that's even what we want to do yet. And maybe we want to tuck that under the pink. Okay, let's see if there's anything else in our little tray of goodies here. Still have quite a few pieces of ephemera left. Oh, we do have couple of those banner pieces from last week that I had inked and not used. And then we also have just a few stickers left. We might use some of these hearts on there. So let's go ahead and stick this down. Go somewhere right in there with that. Actually, here we go again. Lift it up. Of course, she didn't get it right on. Yeah, actually, I think I do want to leave it there. I think I do want it coming further on that green. Part of why I didn't want it so far over is I wanted more of this to show. Yeah. Maybe I'm still right in that, wanting to move that over. We're going to pop the banner up there. I'm going to ink this. We'll stick that down on our mat. I'm going to stick that at an angle, and I think we'll just stick a little bit of tape down on that doily, because actually this is going to help hold that doily in place. All right. And let's stick the banner down. And I'm probably going to go back once I've got this all 100% set and not moving it again. Probably going to go down and use some wet adhesive and just kind of hit a few of these pieces that might be sticking up just a tad. I feel like my photos still might be a little bit high. I'm going to bring that down just a tad more. See, there are no hard and fast rules for how many times you lift and restick stuff. Today might be a record for me for how many times I have lifted things back up and stuck them back down, but that's all right. We're going to stick that there so that you're still able to maybe write on that if you want to. We're going to pull some of these stickers in that kind of match the tickets. We've got these hearts, so we're just going to scatter a few hearts throughout. All right, looks like I've got most of the ones that look like the tickets. And pull the sticker book in here. Still got a full sheet of tickets, some butterflies. I think I want to find, yeah, maybe some of these words. I'm going to pull this So Special, and we're going to tuck that right under that photo mat. Got a bunch of these borders. We're going to use some of these circles and just put some random stickers on here. And I think we're going to go up the purple with a few of these circles. I'm trying to pick some colors that are going to kind of stand out. So I just offset those two butterflies. And that's kind of a big spot right there, but I don't know that we're going to necessarily put anything on it. These stickers are going to be great for another project down the road as well. Got the butterflies down on the bottom. So I've just got the two circles there. Stick that tag down. I'm going to come across the bottom with a butterfly down here. Try and get it straight. And we're going to pull a big butterfly up there. And one more quick look. I just had a thought of something I might want to use. I'm not sure how it'll look, so let me see real quick if I can find them. I was thinking about possibly using some of these stamps. Let me see if I can find another one. I just wanted to kind of see what maybe two of those tucked in there might look like. Goodness gracious, let's get that on there straight. Okay, I am kind of liking this. I actually think I'm going to go ahead and cut that right along the stamp. Okay, so we're going to add these last little stamps. They're not too bad to cut out. If you've got a hole punch, you just kind of have to be able to see where you're punching. And I didn't finish the bottom on this one because I'm going to tuck it in. And we're going to tuck this one over top of it. And let's get all this garbage out of the way and take a look at our final piece. And there you have it. That was just to use up a bunch of scraps. So I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to check out all of the other contributors to #SapMornMakes. And thanks for following along with me for another Scrappin' Saturday. And if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so that you're notified every time I upload some new content. And I will be having one more little project utilizing this Simple Stories Life in Bloom headed your way here shortly. And if you haven't found yours to purchase, I have my website linked below, and I do still have a bit of this collection left. And I will put the links for all of the supplies that I did use below. Again, thanks for watching. Bye for now.